see, Kohli Sahab has let the cat out of the bag. When you meet at the press club, that is where we meet fairly often, and when you have had a few, then all kinds of things begin to flow. And it's one of those when I told him about the questions that one keeps on thinking about, and some of these dealt with issues that have by and large been considered as settled. Things like Islamic architecture, Indo-Islamic architecture, Moghul architecture, etc. And I said I have problems with these categories. So before you could say cat's whiskers, he had the Nashist announced, and there was little that I could do about it. So here I am. I'm basically going to be, because the area is very vast, so I have chosen three to divide it within three categories, three sections as it were, and I'll be talking about, essentially I'll begin with the arch, then go to the mosque, and then come to the question of the Mughal architecture. But within this, there are a whole lot of other cross-references. And that's why there would be some images that might get repeated, because they have some connection to the arts, and they also have some connection to the Mughals and to mosques. Now, this is what we were taught in schools, colleges, that there is something called Islamic architecture. And when it arrived in India, then it interacted with the architectural practices. And the synthesis of these two created something which is called the Indo-Saracenic and later Indo-Islamic architecture. And the elements of the Islamic architecture were primarily the arch, the dome, and the minar. Now, one can hold forth on these three for a while, but I thought I'll concentrate on the arch today. This is my favorite arch in Adilabad, and if you require any argument in defense of the strength of the arch, here it is. There is no plaster. This was built about 700 years ago. No plaster is left. I'll show you a couple of other shots. You can see the sky through the chinks. Just because the keystone is in place, the arch stands. And I have seen it like this from 1967. When I ran away from school, when I was in class 8th, I think, ran away from school and, ninth to 10th, and spent an entire day in the ruins, and that is when I discovered this. It has seen several earthquakes in my memory, and I don't know how many before that, but stands. So, I'm going to be talking about the arch first. This is the first arch that human beings made. This is known as the trabeate. 2 vertical posts and a horizontal lintel. This is the standard door. And this probably began, I don't know who started it. Stonehenge, Greeks, Romans, primitive man, one doesn't know. But this is, if you think of an arch, this is the first thing that comes to mind. This exists in Vijayamandal. It has been used in Vijayamandal, and Vijayamandal was built in the 1320s. So till as late as the 14th century, this was being used as an arch in buildings in Delhi. This is very much the medieval period.